Hello and welcome to the next episode of this disaster series. Well, this Lego room and of course my life. We've got loads as always to get through, and of course something's probably going to break. So before I run you over what we're going to do, I'll show you what we've got to. So all of this is there or thereabouts done. It's looking a lot worse than what it should do because I've just finished a review of this, which is new to me. All these sets are, but I've just finished the Gringotts bank. So if you want to check that out, then obviously give that a whirl. It's a rough and messy one. Up at the top, we were in the process of putting a main street together. I think that is looking very, very clean and tidy. In the next couple of uploads after this, this L shape is going to be a serious focus point. So just excuse the mess over there, because that has been a dumping zone for us to create, well, this kind of stuff. So we are slowly making progress. So we have got our Jurassic Park. We will be sooner rather than later adding in a load of tiles, load of minifigures, and getting all those characters in. But I think that does look very, very clean and very, very tidy. We will add in some boats just on there to make it more of a ride. Potentially the Jaws, I think. I think that might be a good one. Over onto this side, we have then got all of these different bits and pieces for the Batman. Now, it's missing some of the minifigures because I again have just done another review of this, but this is now in and looking neat and tidy. This was the last big upload we did because we put all of these in situ, and I think it's starting to look quite smart. But, well, we've got bits and pieces to swap around in. So we've got 3 things I need to try and achieve in today's upload. It could take a week. It'll probably take me all week, but what we're going to do is Harry Potter to start with. Then I want to tidy up this corner. This is basically all boxes and all that kind of thing. And now, if you have been following the disaster series, I was on a shed a while back because all the roof fell off. Now, we had what is potentially the heaviest rainstorm I've ever seen in the UK for the amount of time we had it for, and not a single drop came through. So which means I fixed it, thankfully. All of those boxes can then go out the way, which I obviously do off camera, and it will free up this space, which will then allow us for future bits and pieces. So that's something that I want to do. So Harry Potter, this area, and I want to get the D&D minifigures added. So I want to add some little minifigures around. If we get more time, we might do 1 or 2 more bits and pieces, but that will be enough. So with that being said, let's get to it. So these are the sets that I want to place. We've got the Burrows and we've got the bank. Now the Burrows has been living just down here. Now we will re-tidy this area up, and that is a standard thing we do in every disaster episode. Once I've done a review, table goes back, this bit gets tidied up so it looks neat and camera on the looks neat and tidy on the camera. But we are over to here. Now all these base plates have just gone down. Now the plan is to put the track over onto this corner just there. Now I've done something wrong with the lights, and I can't quite figure out why it's so dark over on this side, but we will make it work. Now what I need to do, I think, is we need to manipulate this bit to start with, because this needs to be a green base plate for the Burrows. I think that's what we need to do. So we're going to have to pull the base plate that's underneath this one out and get that lined up first, and then we can carry on from there. So that is out the way for now. That is the Harry Potter box out the way. Now I had some base plates just down here. Have they moved? Of course they have. So I will hunt down a green base plate shortly, because I'm sure I have one left. I hope I haven't used all of them. I might have done, but we will see. So I will pull this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit, because I think I've figured out an easier way. So if I pull this all the way out, get this out, put this all the way back, like so. When it came out, and that won't go back in. This is me 101, so we'll get that in and angled. That is lined up. Yes, so we are happy with that. So the next thing I want to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit, because I want the green base plate here, and then that'll be underneath. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this underneath the blue and underneath the green, I think, as a bit of a test. But I am slowly starting to panic because I don't know where another green base plate is. So I might have caught myself off guard on this. So there is very good potential that I've just been an idiot and I don't actually have any green, but I'm sure they'll be dotted around. I've got these, for example, with all the road plates on. And obviously this is a 16 by 16. So if I need to take some of these off, I can just use 2 of those and we've got a 32 by 32. But I have also just redeemed myself and not been so much of a stupidity. I have taken that back out from underneath because I just overlay the green one on top and then we will have the grey still wrapping around so it'll all match. But until that happens, we will just basically won't have a base plate down under the Burrow. But it doesn't matter because this one has to go in first. Now I know there is a giveaway purchase. I don't have the giveaway purchase here. So at some point, potentially these are going to have to then be spun and manipulated to fit slightly differently because I know that track is facing this way and potentially it might actually need to face, the Joker Manor actually might need to come off and the whole thing might need to be spun. But as I don't have that set here, it's not really a massive worry. So this is going to be the first time me putting this set in hopefully what is going to be its new home. And we'll see what it looks like. So see, all of the minifigures just got thrown over to that side after the review. Not the greatest of starts, is it? Not even off the table and I've knocked a piece off. Right, there we go. So these bases are extremely sturdy, unless you're an idiot like me. So, what is this going to look like? Yes. Hopefully, it'll be good. It won't be too claustrophobic with the Joker Manor. So I want to keep equal walkway round. Obviously, I can. He says potentially manipulate it, but I have to get it on. So yeah, we will see. I'm slightly panicking, to be honest, with regards to the ceiling height. But we can only do what we can do. That's all. Do not want to, basically, I don't want to fall down the loft ladders like I just nearly did then. And I don't want to get in the way of the cameras and putting this on. So, where's the stand? There's the stand. You can see in my hand. Right, fine, we're away. Okay, right. So the dragon is attached. And this bank is beautiful. I am holding my breath. Will this fit? I can already see a problem. I have to potentially manipulate it a bit. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of an issue. I want to see the front of the bank and I've got the stand the wrong way, so I'm going to have it that way, which eats up a little bit more floor space, I think, and then twist it around. It's not that easy, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, but once it's on, we should be good. Right, my hands are off that. That's not gone well. Not gone well. See that happening? Something's pinged. What's pinged? Oh, that's pinged. My view. There we go. Actual support. Now, I eyeballed that and did get a tape measure to it. And you see, I didn't actually take the dragon off. And it's close, but it's not touching. It's not touching. Now that is what it looks like over there. It's going to need some better lighting over there. If I actually spun that round a little bit more, we wouldn't see that back wall. And I don't think it would look as crazy. So If I did that, it would take the dragon closer to the Joker Manor, and it would be blowing flames over the Rivendell, which links with Dragon to Dragon, but then it might mean it would actually go back to how it was originally. So uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ugh. Right. Let's get the let's get this in angled first, I think. Right, so that's actually how the base was originally, which is now means it's only taking up one base plate. I can live with that, I think. Just don't know if the dragon can live with being pinched on the ceiling, but it has to be up there. Can we get this dragon up on top? I told you might be with me all week. This should be the easiest thing we're doing today as well. Right, that's it, that's clipped in. Right, tail is not touching the roof, and the wing is not touching the roof we're in. That is incredible that I've actually measured something up and it fits. And the wings work and everything. I'm going to rip the top off. There we go. I'm going to take the risk. Yeah. We'll get those wings angled. I just hope if I can stand it up a little bit more, it's not going to damage the technic bits. Right, there you go. What does that look like? Did you see any of that? I doubt you did. I think you might have just seen me. Right, that's it. That's what that looks like. We are clear from the roof. And that's what that looks like underneath. So, two big buildings up at the top, two roller coaster tracks. That looks to me, it looks like a theme park. I can't push that over anymore, which is fine. The worst case scenario plan was actually, because they're obviously the same height with the base plates, is that this was just going to go staggered. So you saw the entrance, but it covered the hat. So I'm actually really happy it's not covered any of that. Let's take a step back and see. I want to see what that looks like from back underneath the table. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's okay. That really fills out that corner nicely because we've got this over the top. And obviously what we could potentially do is when the eyeball goes into the other corner, because that's now, you look at that and go, yeah, it's really missing height on the left. I knew that was going to happen. Knew it. But I'll wait until, I'll be strong. I'll wait until double points and it will finish this whole L off. Now, obviously, we've got to add the Burrow. The Burrow is going to go on a green base plate, so it will break the colour up ever so slightly. But what I'll do is I'll just put two 16 by 16s beside it for now, just so you get an idea of it breaking it up with the colour. But that, I think, does look quite clean, to be honest. So, once I've got the Burrows off this table, I can then start crawling underneath the table. And then we should be good and happy. Right. Burrows. So it would be close to the edge of the table, but you would see a bit of green, is what you would see. So it would be about there and further back about there, I reckon. So that's how it would go with green around it, which I think works. I think that looks really nice. Because now we've got up, over, round and down. I know I'm casting a shadow and everything, but that's exactly what I wanted it to do with regards to height in that corner. Theme park rides in that corner. Beautiful shape all the way around it. Let me put you there. Burrows. Now, two options with this. We have it facing forward. No. We'll have it side on, to the back is where we'll have it. We'll have it there, I think. And then we'll have a nice little bit of green all the way around it. So you have a couple of studs at the front, a couple of studs at the side. That would look neat and tidy. Yes, I think that is the way. I think that's the way to do it. Not exactly ideal, I know, but to get an idea. Something like that. Obviously with it more green. Now don't forget, there is a bit that goes on the front, there's a bit that goes at the back. That actually doesn't stand out anywhere near with that base plate because it's got the grey on it, so that looks, I think that looks even worse. But you guys and girls get the idea. Nice bright green deep base plate in that corner. I need to, I'm going to put a different colour down to break it up. We'll use a white one. Ah, that's my spine against the table. That was my spine, everybody, against the table. Right, coming back to you. I've just crawled. I don't know why I've just crawled underneath. I'm so stupid. Just crawled underneath that underneath that table. There's nothing on it. Right, white. And yes, I know it's on a white table, but it's to cover the grey, so you can see. So that would leave us with that as a problem. So I've got to figure out what I do with that bit, I think. But yes, that's what it will be. All the way around, equal sort of thing. And then that'll be that bit that's just there. So I will put this together, get this table out of the way, and then we'll crack on. Look at the size of that box. Now that's the stuff that I'm going to do next off camera. I want to get this sorted and put it all back. So I have now got space to walk again. And I have been clever. I've actually just pushed the base plate over. The blue is the green. The white didn't work, did it? Let's be honest. But now you can see what the blue is. So that would be green. As it wraps around, that would be the path that would be left, with the grey how I staggered it. So that's what it would look like. So I think the Burrow just on its own 32 by 32. We've got the pig trough on the front. We've got that on the back. We could just end it there because it is in line with the shadow box, and potentially I could just put maybe a 16 by 32 here just to extend it to a little bit of green. And then what that would then allow us to do is butt up these row plates to the shadow box, because now we can start to do all this kind of stuff, and it will give us our true space at the other end of the table. So that, minus not actually having a green base plate, because I must have used more than I thought I did, because there must be 8 down there. I thought it was only 6. 2, 4, yeah, 8. Makes sense. So yeah, I used all of them. I should have figured that out straight away. We've got a multi-pack of colours, which I've used all the blues as well. So somehow I've just used all the greens and all the blues on that small area just over there. So I have loads of greys left. So we will put some base plates down around on that table, because that is a plan of attack. Now, while we're talking about water, God, that does look very, very clean. It does look very, very smart. I really hope that's coming through on camera okay, and you can see what we're trying to do with this. With talks of water, obviously we've got the two bits of the waterfalls feeding what is going to be this all tiled. Now I've got some tiles at the back. I've got some nice long blue tiles, which is something that I can do as a separate upload. So that would be okay. But yes, for now that will just stay blue, and then we'll swap it with one of these greens, because I'm going to have to pick up some more base plates for future projects anyway. Yes, that's going to be good. That's going to be good, sexy fun. So what I am going to do now is I am going to clear up underneath that table. And there's absolutely no point putting it to a speed time lapse, because where those boxes are going, I can't take the camera with me anyway, because it's all the way down to the garden and all the way back up again. It's just going to take forever. So I'm going to carry on doing that for the rest of the afternoon. And then I'll catch back up with you guys and girls tomorrow. Not going to lie, I've just stood here for about 10 minutes and I cannot stop looking at this corner. This, from the edge of the shadow box all the way to this bit. Once the figures get added, because obviously it's just empty at the moment, it's just supposed to be a theme park. There's no minifigure population as such at the moment. When we start actually putting tiles down and things, I think it's going to look very, very clean. But you let me know if I've done the right thing. Let me know if you think that is the right thing to do, because don't forget, this was actually all a different coloured wall. This is all completely different. So from there over is how it's going to be. And then obviously the eyeball, I think it's going to have to be something very, very tall on the other side. So when I stand and look at it from here, it all matches and you've got the lower bit in the middle. So I think we're going to need something tall on that side. It's going to have to be really the Lord of the Rings, I think, unless we've got like a vehicle or something climbing up the wall. Now, talking of vehicles, because it is a bank and it is a wizardy type thing, the ride at Universal, this is what I'm thinking about, is a horrible like motion simulator type thing, but it's on a big track. I love massive, massive roller coasters. I'm just not a big fan of when you're going like zooming in and out of the screens. I don't get on with them that well. And I think the one that they have on the other side underneath the castle, that's actually gone, isn't it? They're redoing all of that, so they seem to be coming away from the sort of motion type stuff, because it just makes people feel a little bit woozy. Do I have a hovering vehicle? Now what I will do is we will add in the minifigures to the D&D. But I've just started to put some of the Batman figures back. So we've put all of those four up at the top. I want to get all of these in, and obviously we've got those down at the bottom. So what I will do is we'll start off with a time lapse, which will be tomorrow. And I will put all of these figures, because all of these are from the bank. And then all of these are from the Burrow, and also I don't want to lose them, but I have measured, and that is 16 studs, so we can get a 16 by 32 in that gap, tuck it in with that road plate, and then we can just literally move the shadow box over by 2 studs, and then that gives us, well, whatever we want on that side. So that's really, really, really handy. But yes, I've run out of green and I've run out of blue base plates. So got plenty of white. Huge amount of work going to be happening over on here in the next few videos. But I'm at the moment, one of the first times where I don't quite know what to say. I don't know if I'm actually proud of this or... Yeah, it's been a lot of work. A lot of work. But this is the standard of what we want the whole display. So we've still got to do 1, technically 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more tables on this side. That'll be table number 10. Then any of the tables that are underneath. And then obviously I've just put this back. Now, the one thing that I was going to do and let you guys know that I am going to do is the pet shop that is down in there will now come up onto this run. So we've got the bookshop at the back. I will grab that and complete this run, because that way there'll be a run of 4. So in fact, I'll do that while I'm thinking about it, and then we'll jump to tomorrow. So that is what I was talking about, having a row of them all back to back. So this is where the Burrows was. Obviously the Burrows now has been replaced with this, but the actual pet shop didn't really have a home. So that is where that is. So we've now got a run of those, which now leaves us a little bit of space for whatever we want regarding a diorama here, with potentially the D&D characters. But like I said, we've got to get these out the way, and I've got like a load of Simpsons characters and everything all over the place. So I'm going to make like a little to-do list. Even though we want to achieve 3 things, it's going to be another one of those where it's going to take me all week just to get anything done. And then I will catch back up with you tomorrow. So I've added those three just there to start with. Now we've got the guards on the left-hand side with the Death Eater, and then on the other side we have got these three. Basically copy the box for a little bit of some of them, because on the box you have a guard and one, then you have one banker, I said, and then you've got those three, and then you have got some characters underneath. Now the bit underneath I will fill out, I think, with more characters from different bits and pieces. It would be quite nice to try and figure out some other characters that were actually underground from that scene, because obviously I can't see the back of it as it is, so I want to have all the minifigures on show. So that is basically what I'm going to try and do with a lot of them, because obviously this is supposed to be a diorama piece with the roller coaster track underneath, so when you're walking around it's what you would expect to see at a theme park, but also at the same time it makes a nice diorama. But down here I was limited to where to put these two, because you on the box they stopped at the one in the middle, which is the one I think is the one that they stop off in the film, and the one at the bottom is when they then all stop off for something else, if I remember rightly. I really need to pay attention to that a little bit more, but I think they do stop off at the one at the bottom. I can't remember which one his family is in. I don't know if it's Hagrid's is the one in the middle and Potter's vice versa, but I'm sure they go to the one at the very, very bottom. So I've added in the guy with the key, and then we've got those two just in there. Now this obviously does work with those in here, and you can obviously just do whatever you want to do. Have them all placed because it isn't actually anywhere to stand them, but this does move on the tracks too. I have just drowned that one. And then this one down here has got his cool sword. Now obviously he could be holding this if need be, but I've just put that piece. Well, that's now died as well, so they're both now drowning in the water. Fantastic. So we'll sort that out after. Right, what we are going to move on to now is I say I want to achieve three things. Now obviously this is the disaster series, everything goes wrong, so I can't actually control the weather. It is biblical out there. I can't actually think of a more dramatic word than that. It is lashing it down to the point of, I have just seen images of a car on the motorway with the boot open, and you can only see the tip of the boot with water. It is incredible that there is that amount of water around, and that is only about an hour and a half away from here. So certain parts of our roads at the moment are just flooding just because of the volume of water, and obviously, more importantly to me, I don't want to get my boxes wet. So I can't keep running up and down. I will get absolutely drenched and the boxes will get damaged. So that will happen, but it might happen between uploads instead. So depending, because we've got rain now for like 5 days, which sucks. So I might have to utilize my time a little bit differently in this upload or whatever. Now we are going to go on to the D&D. So the Harry Potter stuff is there or thereabouts done for now. We've got all of the CMF minifigures to add. Now these down here, we have got a couple of goblins and a couple of other bits and pieces. I don't know whether just maybe I should just do another throw a curveball and stick with the Harry Potter stuff, because there's a bag somewhere full of Harry Potter CMF minifigures. Is that it there? It's bad, isn't it? It's bad. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. So we get to add all sorts of stuff. So there's some random ones in there as well that don't belong in there. But yeah, we've got all the different teachers. We've got Dobby in there. So what I'll do is I'll put you back to a time lapse, get some population in that corner because it does look a little bit sparse. Get some more owls out and I'll have them flying around on the buildings, because we obviously put an owl on here. We've got the owl from this. We've got the owl on, 2 owls on there as well. So I will have a bit more of a play doing this, and then probably tomorrow do the Dungeons and Dragons. Changed my mind on the time lapse because I don't want to bore you with too many of those. So I'm actually going to get these minifigures out, and then you guys and girls can let me know who all of these are, because I am not 100% sure where to put all of them, and I recognise some of them obviously from the films. The ones with the uniforms are going to be a little bit tricky, so they're just going to have to be walking around the actual alleyway. Some of these are probably from the alleyway as well, and I recognise her. She's a right pain in the backside. This is a great minifigure as well. So I do believe that she wasn't actually supposed to get any lines of dialogue, and then she just kept coming back, and yeah. So that is a nice thing. Now, we've got some of these, which I do believe might be from... I thought that might have been from an advent calendar. It's definitely from something. It's got a Hogwarts thing on there, so that will have to be added in somewhere. That's a pretty cool looking thing. Now we have Mr. Dumbledore himself, Dumbledore, and then we have got a random blue minifigure in there. We have got a torso, which looks very, very painful. We have one of these, which is a cool tile. Another teacher. See, some of these have very, very good prints on. Just trying to figure out who they all are. So you're gonna have to help me. Now I recognise this one. He's a cool character. So again, not too sure where they can go. Again, Quidditch on the way, I do believe. More suitcases, more wands. Another teacher. Prints on these are fantastic. I think that is another teacher. He's falling over. Taking the plunge. I've got a lot of these from an advent calendars as well. Yeah, so I recognise some of these from advent calendar. Oh, maybe that is what the other thing's from. So I think the actual uniforms like these are all from the advent calendars. That is a CMF, I think. That's Patterson. Just need his hairpiece and a random Darth Vader. So yeah, right, Darth is in the bag for whatever reason. I've got an owl. Got another one in orange. Got a big trophy. I've got a bowl haircut. Yeah, there's a lot of them in here. That is another teacher. You can see I've just given up trying to stand all of these up. That is Potter again in his uniform, so we can again go walking around shopping. Voldemort is there, so he can be doing something. We've got dogs. Yes, so that is all of that. So I think that's supposed to, it is Potter in his invisible cloak as well. So that is all of them. I've got all the owls that I need to put out, so I put all the owls out and everything else like that now. And I think that's a Harry Potter character, maybe. I'm gonna catch back up with you after. Right, as you can see, the adding of the minifigures hasn't gone well, but there's a reason. I've just found some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of them, and then as a separate upload, we will just do a full minifigure dio of that. So I will get all of them in, and we'll figure out what can go where. Let us know if there's any scenes you think I should recreate. I can then try and get some of the cobbles and everything down and just get everything done at the same time, because I'm looking at that going, oh yeah, I can add all the minifigures down, but then if I want to add all the texture, I've got to figure out what path I'm going to do as well with regards to how they've done that, because I don't know whether to have a browny sandy path mixed in with the cobble or just extend a huge amount of cobble, which I think is what I'm probably going to do. So I just need a load of sort of circles, nipples and all that kind of thing, because there's what 4 or 5 different elements on there. Just get a load of them and do it all the way around the outside. So we'll do that in one big, basically a diorama display upload. And I think that would be easier. I think that'd be a little bit better, because that's the texture that we're going to go for. All of this, but we're going to do it on a much larger scale. So it's covering another sort of 4 base plates, which then, talking of base plates, leads us over to this side, because it is actually something that we can do and we can achieve, hopefully, now. So if I place you somewhere half healthy, I think if I just move these Ghostbuster figures out the way, and I can prop you on the Ghostbuster Firehouse roof, living the dream. So I need to get these off to get them back on, basically. I just want to base plate this table, and I think I want the D&D close to the firehouse. Now there is an option of doing something else, which is the Statue of Liberty, but I don't know if the Statue of Liberty we could get away with that in the Tatooine display or not. And this is where my cogs are really turning now, because if I just put the grey base plates down, that's not going to work, because that is supposed to be on sand. Ow. because that thing, which looks fantastic, is from the Batman movie. I can't remember if I said this in this upload or a different upload or whenever it was. So if it's going to go anywhere, it needs to go at the end of that table. The Lord of the Rings eye goes there, and then we carry on with that corner. If not, I don't know if the Dungeons and Dragons could go in front of the Lord of the Rings, and then it opens it up, because then potentially there would be space for a ride in the middle of that table. Because as it stands right now, I can't actually loop the path around. So I will potentially move that to the end, so it extends the horror section ever so slightly. Because as it is, they are in situ. But yeah, I'm just not 100% sure. You know when you're half tired and you just can't focus on stuff, and you don't want to make a mistake. It's been a really long, tiring day today. But get your violins out, because I know nobody cares. So I don't know whether to make a proper Tatooine and mash it up with the new Rebuild the Galaxy Star Wars thing, which is fantastic, by the way, and potentially have the Statue of Liberty as water, or this strip as water. This is all for a separate upload, but I just don't know what to do with that. We might as well leave it there for this upload. We'll base plate that in grey, because I haven't got any of the other colour. Get the base plates down and see what it looks like. Move the Dungeons and Dragons over to that side, because it's literally just moving it from there to there. We can get the Dungeons and Dragons minifigures out the way, and then we can just see where we're at. Again, this is always sketchy, because I wonder, because it is so sketchy, if I just do this as sensibly as I can and actually put the base plate down and move stuff. Now, the dinosaur is a thing. The Flintstones firehouse is also a thing, as that, whatever that was, goes shooting by. So we're going to have the same problems what we've got with all the other tables. I could add 3 base plates on and overlap it like I've been doing, and add the other colour in as a walkway, or have it staggered or something like that. But for now, it would just be what it is at the front. So that tail would go there. I just don't know whether to have this T-Rex in with the Jurassic Park gates or not, or if it would ruin it, because it is so, it's so big, those gates. I just don't know. But that goes there, that will go there. That's the next one to go down. He says, as he's basically holding on and hovering for dear life, I really do not want to fall down these loft ladders, not after today. Right, that is on there, there, next loft. Don't know this one. There's a Stranger Things. Is that going to be alright in a grey, or should that be on a green? Or should that be on something completely different? Because it is, I guess it's upside down, so it would be, I think we'll probably get away with the grey. Oh, something serious has happened. That's another siren going off. I told you there's a lot of flooding going on at the moment, so hopefully that's nothing too serious. I don't even know if the camera's picking the noises up, but they are shooting around in the background. So that is just what the first 6 base plates look like. Obviously, we've seen how much of a difference it makes with the others. We'll put the He-Man castle actually properly in, because I think that might make more sense. And while I'm doing that, we will get the D&D set in place. I'm tempted to see if I can make that waterfall work as well, and bring the diorama round ever so slightly. So the Strange Things can stay where it is. The D&D I think just needs to move. This is now getting silly, as it always does. So the He-Man castle is a Mattel mega set, and it is a great thing. I do have Snake Mountain, which will add a nice little bit of colour into this corner. Now you can see what's happening with this dino. It's just getting moved about. Problem is, do not want to damage it, because it's at the best of times, when it wants to be, it will just fall over and be annoying. Right, so do we have this waterfall somewhere, or will it not work at all? Because we could potentially just have it here, just to basically have as a completely different land. So I'm going to do it with the intention of the Apocalypseburg set staying where it is, because it's almost like a backdrop for everything else. But worst case, it will come here, and then this just gets put back. But if we're going to be making up a little bit of a diorama, having a little bit of space in the middle, then it will be an interesting one. I have absolutely no idea how to reach this without falling down. So let's just see what it looks like on. So I think it's probably going to have to go on a blue. It's going to have to go on a blue base plate, isn't it? With its water. Why am I putting it on grey? Yeah, it needs to go on blue. Yeah, of course it does. These two blue base plates underneath it is what it needs. Now this does, if I remember right, it does strip apart. Yes, it does. Because it's obviously missing the dragon. So if that bit went there and the waterfall was behind it, if I was to raise the waterfall up, that could potentially work. This then has the height on the other side, so that would go there, and then the purple bit would go there like so. Then I will have to then do my very, very best, oh yeah, not to go flying. I am now on my tiptoes on a ladder. Ladders usually go well for me, so we should be fine. Right, that wiggles into place there. That wiggles into place there. Now, obviously, instantly, I think it's just because maybe there's no set there at the moment, and also I can't see what it looks like from where you're looking at, but it kind of feels to me like it is the end of a land, and it'll be a completely different type of theming behind it, and it might look quite nice with a dragon on a dragon, because we will have the Lord of the Rings eyeball going there. I know that space is horrendous, and it is annoying me the whole time I'm up here, because I think that does look very, very smart, that corner. So I could just do it like that. That would be great. And then obviously we now need to mirror it on this side, but that definitely needs blue underneath. So it would mirror the blue on the other side. It would make sense because we have blue from the Harry Potter going around into the blue. So we have a little bit more water-esque stuff. Now, obviously to spice it up with the colour, if I grab the dragon, the wingspan on the dragon that is on its way is, well, it's enormous. So instantly it adds quite a bit to this set. But I don't know if anybody else has problems with the jaw. My jaw keeps falling off all the time, and it can't hold its weight on its head. So it's not a big ball on a Technic bit, but so it's always continuously looking down. See, mine, it just sort of doesn't want to. Yeah, you can see what I mean. Yeah, so do I have this flying in? Do I actually have, because ideally it wants to be up here, I think, because if I could raise the waterfall up ever so slightly and have this with something on its underbelly, we could potentially do something, because they have it sort of, the tail wraps around the back of the castle, and it kind of just, well, it does that, which doesn't look bad, but it does literally look like I've just thrown it on the top. But you can't wrap the legs on it, so it's not like this one where it stands up. The orange against the red look lost. Do I have... Can I justify 4 base plates for a D&D? See, I guess it was... It's taken up 2 and a bit there. So I don't know if the waterfall... If the waterfall doesn't work, which I don't really think it's going to, it's going to be a lot of bricks to raise that up high. And it's not supposed to be the high set in the corner. But if you have a nice bit of colour, so you've got a castle in front of a castle. He-Man, we got the Snake Mountain, which is this huge purple thing just here. Yeah. Triangle it. So obviously, the other thing I can do is spin it so it's facing inwards, and then it's just a straight line path to the next zone, because ideally this little bit here, where the camera's got the shadow, that would just be the next path into the next land, which is obviously all going to be linked in with that kind of thing. But does D&D link into Lord of the Rings and then links in? Does it look more gamey? Is it all the dragony type stuff all together? We've got all of the I was about to say similar type of minifigures. That's a lie, but you know what I mean. I could just swap the He-Man castle and the Stranger Things over, so the Stranger Things is close to the D&D, because that makes perfect sense. I want them side by side, but then have the He-Man castle by the haunted house, and then Snake Mountain facing forward just here. As it stands, I've got the table space to do that, because I quite like the fact that we've got a busy... This is supposed to be busy, because obviously it's supposed to simulate a street and you're walking by. So I've got plenty of areas to do bits and pieces, and obviously all the dioramas of everything will arrive and happen. Obviously we started to add in little bits and pieces, and obviously this will look quite nice when it's all done, when all the cars and everything are in. But I only want, it's not cluttered, but I only want like a busy section in certain areas. Like we're going to have a new Star Wars area that's going to be a little bit more open, like the Winter Village feels a little bit more spacious. This now feels a lot more spacious, whereas this sort of corner, maybe it could open up, because it's not technically a city, it's into our horror-esque type area. But we could split it up by having the D&D, I think, on blue. So if we had 2 base plates of blue, Stranger Things on a different colour base plate, and then it led into the grey, because grey for horror is obviously that's going to have to be that. So that makes sense. The water, let's do it as I'm thinking about it. So the waterfall isn't going to go there because it just doesn't work there, I don't think. So let's get true spacing of everything, shall we? So that is gone. Beautiful set, but it's out the way. So we're going to be looking at just 2 blue. Schoolboy error. Schoolboy error. Take the dragon off before you move it. Where'd that go? Is that there somewhere? Yeah, because this is it's a pretty cool looking set. So we brought this all the way back to there like so. And the nice thing is where the height of this castle is, there'd be nothing behind it. Oh god, I've got absolutely nothing. Oh my days, I've got nothing to stand on. I'm on the edge, and the funny thing is I'm doing this knowing it's going to go blue. So we'll do it all again after. Stop it. Yeah, because this is almost our fantasy type land, isn't it? So it's going to be going into... Oh, that actually, no, that makes sense. We have a horror and a fantasy mixed. So it's like a half and half. So the Lord of the Rings set is a double whammy then. Because the Lord of the Rings is an Easter egg that a lot of people I don't think will get. And it's just my stupid sense of humour. Yes, I am being an idiot. Oh my god. Oh. Oh. God, you can feel my heart right now. Yes, I did nearly just do that. I kicked what I kicked when I dropped the Rivendell, But luckily I went forwards, not backwards on that one. So that is what that looks like. It looks exactly the same, I know. But I think that will work, because what I'm getting at is this tall piece here, there's nothing behind it. So I could push it over more if need be, which potentially could make sense, because we could then have more minifigures just here from a diorama perspective. But then at the same time, I don't want to push my luck with what I'm doing, so just don't want it to get swallowed. Basically, I don't want any of the other sets to get swallowed up by anything else. But if that went there, that went like that, and that would go back, and it's not pushed in, obviously, but we could potentially get away with that. And it's steps. That could work quite nicely, actually. And then the Stranger Things goes just beside it, which keeps it to more of our just made up fantasy land, because it's all the dragons. I know Harry Potter is technically fantasy as well, but that's on the other side, so that's not, they're not getting merged like that. I am 1,000,000% sure something's just fallen off that dragon. I'm going to have to watch that back and see. I'm sure that was there when I picked it up. Was I too busy focusing on the head? Did something fall off and it's fallen behind the table? Well, that's annoying. Right, I will find that and fix that. That's his mouth. That's the most annoying thing about this, the mouth. Now, I have no idea how you are supposed to bodge. I just don't like how this dragon sits, and I'm sure people are going, no, you moron, you do it like this. Well, let me know. It just looks like it's sitting there, and it's just going to fall off. His mouth. I'm going to have to get, I reckon a piece might have failed. Something's not right with that. Yeah. And there's a head bit's not right. It's always done that. And yes, I have pushed the ball in properly. Bit of torch on that, but it's not sturdy enough. Not sturdy enough. I just don't want to shake itself off. Those flags again, gone. I said we're going to make a diorama with the D&D. I wasn't expecting to move everything before we added the minifigures. And you know exactly what the problem's going to be now. I can't put the minifigures down if I'm now going to change it to blue. So I have lied to everybody, as per normal, of what we were going to do in this disaster episode has completely changed. But we have just placed a figure there, so yeah, because you can see the figure at the castle. That the dragon really annoys me. I'm going to have to get it on some cylinder tubes or something, and just have it a little bit more supported, because I don't like how that sits. But we have got more here, which would be more blue on show. But I just don't know if it's better over. But that's something that we can have a think about. Well, I can sleep on basically, and before this upload ends, it's something that we can sort out. So we've got Haunted House, Ghostbuster Firehouse. That's obviously our spooky section, or haunted, or whatever. So He-Man Castle, it looks like it's good theming for that. So that can go in the horror. This can go over to our fantasy. Now we have got the dice box, which potentially could just be used as a photo op or something. And we have got, all the way from Canada, thanks to Mr. Saturday Ave, who I met when I was over there. Michael Myers used in the film, one of the houses that was used from the newer Halloween, I do believe. I think I've just remembered which one that was from. So we will then split up these. I think I'll keep it as an L shape. I think. and I'll have this on a green. I think that would work. I'll have to overlay it. But yeah, green, green, blue, blue, something and something. No idea what you can see. I don't know if that castle's in the way. So green, green, blue, blue, something and something. And then we go over to this section over here, which I haven't even base plated. I've lied to you about that as well. I have got more grey, I just can't see them. But I have used, surprisingly, more base plates than I thought I was going to do, which is good because I do need to get some more base plates anyway. But that for now can literally just go there. It's very sorry for itself because I think it's parting itself on the table. Yes, it is. So yeah, that's what it's done. So these are just on little guide rods, and you just do that. So you can have it like that. Have that pushed back. That on a couple of grey base plates, I think that would look smart. So this is an area now that, as of 15 minutes ago, I didn't even think of. Now, not doing it now. I want to put. I need the base plates down. So I know what it look like. I could angle that, so you see. I just don't know if you'd lose anything or not. But I think it's quite nice. It works where it is. If we can think of what could go in the water beside it would be helpful. We could try and put some sharks in there or do something. Do they do anything in water in Stranger Things? Obviously that's just a theming thing. Obviously it's just a big silly Easter egg to show that they actually played D&D in Stranger Things. Now again, I could, to make things easier, spin the Stranger Things set over on its side, but I think it would swallow the D&D, and I think it was, saying it out loud, I think it's going to be absolutely dreadful, even if I try and step it and stagger it. So if I do something like that, it just doesn't look right, I don't think. You know it's there, but you're not really going to see it's there. And from a theme park perspective, no. I think I prefer that there. But the only thing is, I'm doing all of this and starting to go, yeah, we can have a fantasy section there. I need more space at Tatooine, and the Statue of Liberty needs to move. And then the Statue of Liberty would have to go there. Because that's a beautiful looking set as well. But I think it just works there. It's on sand, it's tan. If we can get... It's a dilemma. It's a good dilemma to have, because I've actually now got space. As you can see, got a nice bit of space, but what do we think? Do we sacrifice? Well, I guess we could still have it. I was about to say, do we sacrifice this fantasy type land? We could potentially still have it, but just on a smaller scale, because we could potentially make an L shape and then have the Statue of Liberty behind it, and then still have the horror section, and then it just gets broken up by the base plates, and it's just a different area on the park map, which again makes sense. And we have got room to go. We've got room to go that way. This haunted house. Yeah, so this haunted house goes to there, to where we're laughing because we don't need to get behind the haunted house. This can come all the way over. I'm stuck on that same part of the table because the tables aren't level, and how this splits. Hang on. So that, I'm not forcing that, but you get the idea, is there. So the Stranger Things can basically come up by half a base plate. That would move forward by 2, but that is such a big base, I think it might need a little bit more than that. The big problem we've got with that set in the corner is that it's not the problem with the set. It's what can go in that corner that can be seen. Now, there's a sail barge on the way. It's not been ordered yet because it's not out. We're in the wrong month still, so... But if the sail barge went there, would you see it, or is it too far away? Does the sail barge need to start where the edge of that white base plate is? Does the sail barge go... Basically, does the sail barge go how that is? Because that is covering... Diagonally, it's covering 3 base plates. Sail barge is 3 base plates long. So I could get the sail barge diagonally, which isn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted the sides open. But I think we might be able to get it diagonally. Maybe raise it up. Have the canteen and everything underneath. If we did all of that, would then that look stupid there? Because as it stands right now, it's just in a big corner. It's just a big coffee shop. That's all it is, and it's a coffee shop in the middle of the desert. And obviously, Tatooine is in the desert. I need to watch the Lego Movie 2, which is the most painful movie ever made, and see if there is a Star Wars minifigure at the start of the Lego Movie 2. Because if there is, we can just fill that with Star Wars characters like we're going to do with the Tatooine. If not, we'll have to make a proper Tatooine walkthrough, which I would like to do. This has just sort of gone off the rails drastically now. I've designed something that I really like, knowing full well that I might have to move that. Good problem to have though, isn't it? Good problem to have. So I think we could potentially save it and salvage it. It's just not as close back as back to that. But even though it would be quite nice having the dragon in the dragon. Now, of course, the other thing that can be done is if we reshuffled these, the Statue of Liberty, because the flame is touching the roof over there, but this table, the table it's on is higher, so it would go where the haunted house is, and we could have it facing inwards. And because it's technically an apocalypse set, we could get away with it as a horror-y type thing, not linking it to the Batman straight away, but it's close to it. Just wanted to tell a half-decent story, that's all. Right, I waffled on for 20 odd minutes longer than I was expecting to do any of this, so I am going to have a think, do a little bit of research, and don't know whether just to go cut my losses. I'm sorry I've wasted all your time. Still like and subscribe and all that good stuff anyway, and then have a better plan for the next upload, because that I'm not doing because I've got so many minifigures. That's just going to be its own thing. I'm going to order the parts. I want to do things properly. If I had, which is really annoying, that clear and it wasn't raining, I could just do it because I'd actually have more space under the table. There's a plan for that, and I can't execute the plan because we're going to run out of time before this needs to be uploaded, which is really, really annoying. Yes. So before we move on to the next day, you're looking at this right now. That is going to be a sail barge. We have got all of the other little sets around from the Tatooine that I've got. It's all beautiful tan base plates. We've got a 16 by 32 all the way down is a strip of a strip of ocean to split it with this snow. So obviously that's where the Winter Village stuff will finish, just here. The Easter egg there is from the Lego reference, because they redo the pod racer race, but they do it on water, so it's just a good little bit of fun. So I want that in so I can get a little pod racer. I have the originals. Where they are now, I don't know, but I do have Anakin's original pod racer from when it first came out, the original one somewhere. So that could just be flying in there. If not, I'm sure the original one used would be quite cheap. I don't think it's got any value. But then, does it make sense with that being there? Does it need to move? Will it work nice? Will it spoil the Tatooine? Because it's a Tatooine, but not. It's got Easter eggs within, and it's going to have a black falcon as well. The Sirius display, which I've not said anything about yet, is going underneath the table. That is coming in a much sooner than expected upload, but that is also what that bit is looking like now. So I'm going to scratch my head, figure out exactly what I can do. Probably take some ibuprofen as well. I've got a throbbing headache, so I do apologise that I've waffled on for so long, and I'll catch back up with you tomorrow. Well, as normal, that escalated very, very quickly, and we're a week and a half later. Where time goes, I do not know, and this is the first time I've been up here in a week and a half, but we have got some little bits and pieces. So I managed to get some bits and pieces built, and I did finally manage to build the Ghost. Yes, we do have an ATTE, and we have, no, an ATST, sorry, and we also have a probe droid. And we have got the giveaway purchase transporter. So that's a cool looking thing. So these are all going to be ready for what is going to be a rather large Star Wars display. But the Ghost, well, it's really weird. Not going to lie, it is an odd looking thing. It's like a chunky, I don't know, it's bizarre. It's not what I thought it was going to be. So this is going to go in my Winter Village display, because I don't know where else it can go. I'll put some lights on it or something and make it look pretty. So that is, well, that's that, which is one of those weird and wonderful things of why did I bother building it. But this is a very, very cool thing. So this is going to be going in what is going to be a huge display that's going directly underneath this table. So the problem I've got with the Ghost, because I haven't actually got anywhere to put it, it's just going to take up space. Shouldn't have actually built it yet, to be honest, but it was one of those where if I didn't do it then, it wouldn't have got built forever. So the last thing that we're going to do in this upload is that can go there, that can go down here, just so you guys and girls can see this for scale. Now the nice thing is it does sit quite tall, so we can do some little bits and pieces with it. It looks decent enough, and I think, well, I haven't got a clue if it's going to work there or not, but we have got a lot happening now. So we are going to be starting a brand new mini-series for Star Wars bits and pieces. So we did the Ninjago one, which was an absolute bust. We tried and I failed. We tried together and I failed. It's all underneath there. Now what I am going to be doing is all of this underneath will be cleared, and we will be getting some wood, and we're going to be making a nice display underneath. Now, I don't know what order it's going to be done in. I've got to get some of the sets built and all the other little bits and pieces. But we're going to have, finally, a nice Star Wars walkthrough for our display, which would be nice. So the balls will have to go underneath. And then, obviously, we can have Cody and Mandu. Is it Mandu? Mandu? I keep saying Mando. It's not, is it? I keep calling him Samuel. So those two, basically. So those two will be going underneath, along with the balls. And yeah, there's stuff cooking in the background on that one, but we are where we are with basically everything else. I've got loads to do, but I just can't do anymore. I've run out of time until this needs to be uploaded for you guys and girls to watch it, for me to try and keep this as a weekly thing. Otherwise I would end up spending the next few hours up here. But like I said, that is the other thing that is in the box. That will be coming out, and that will be coming out in the actual display that's going on underneath that, with all of the battle packs and things. Quick recap, because I can't remember myself what the hell is going on with this. Over on this side, if this light would actually turn around and spin, there we go. So this is going to stay. I think that's what's going to happen, but we are going to be having 2 blue. I think we're going to go for 2 green, and then we'll probably go grey, and then we'll mix and match what we're going to be doing in here. This is all in and done, so you can see that. I think that looks tidy enough. I think it looks okay. That corner, well, that's just a nightmare. That'll be happening at some point. It's so dark. I don't know what, there we go. And that is obviously all done, but that will be going as a 1.5 faceplate. Now, I know you would have just heard that probably about 45 minutes ago, but it is near enough a fortnight since I started to do this upload, I think. easy a week and a half. Because I didn't, yes, it is. Yeah, that's so bad. So yeah, there we go. There's 14 days of my life in an hour gone. And I've achieved nothing. But I have made the Angry Lady bits. And I've also made the skiff. So we are getting ready for some larger sets that might be that might walk on snow or something like that. So yes, keep your eyes peeled for those. But guys, that is it, and I am done. If you are a Star Wars fan, then let us know in the comment section below what you think I should be doing for this really stupid diorama display that will be happening in the next upload. And if you're not, don't panic, because we have got loads and loads of other little bits and pieces to carry on with. We will at some point, I have been saying this, get these Dungeons and Dragons minifigures out and on display. Just not today. So one more time, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.